The Joe Rogan Experience.
I'm going to train hop. I'm going to hitchhike. Vice gave me, like, one of the first Vice shows was Thumbs Up. Gavin McInnes, Shane Smith, those guys, I've been writing and drawing.
That's how I found out about you.
Really?
Yeah, I found out about you from two places. One from Bourdain, but two from a video that I watched of you going to the Congo looking for a dinosaur. that was the first thing I ever saw of you. I think that's like, then I talked to Bourdain about you, and he was like, you got to talk to this guy. You got to meet him. And when I saw your show, I was like, look at this dude. This is crazy. He's looking for a fucking brontosaurus in the middle of the Congo.
In 1994, I was living in Israel in a farm called Ramat HaKovesh, and it was a kibbutz. And to live on the kibbutz, you have to work. And I was the illegal immigrant there, so I have no money. So I'm making enough working on the farm just to live on the farm. And at this point, I'm 18 years old. I've been hitchhiking since I was 15, and I've seen the whole world. I've hitchhiked through Europe. I've hitchhiked through the U.S., back and forth. And I'm bored. This is I'm like, what, you go to the Eiffel Tower, you take that same, like, this,
right.
What haven't we done yet? It's all mapped out. We've
Right.
been to everywhere. We've seen everything. We've done everything. I have a heart of an explorer. I want to find new things, you know? And so I'm living on this kibbutz. Most of the other people there are from Australia and South Africa. And what I love about them is they're so racist that they don't even know they're racist. Like, I'm the only Asian guy there, and they're like, Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Like, I'm like, I got a name. And they're like, no, your name's Nintendo. I'm like, okay. And so I'm working illegally in a casino, illegally at a wedding catering place, and then working on this farm. So I have 3 jobs. I'm making, like, you know, under the table. And there's a library on the farm of books that have been left behind by past travelers. And, of course, there's an old... from the 70s or 80s, a National Geographic catalog. And I start reading about Mokele Membe. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's scientists, National Geographic people have spotted this fucking brontosaur-like thing in the Congo, and it's still there, and the Congo is still, it's the heart of darkness. I gotta fucking find this thing. I gotta go there. Like, I was.
How old were you at the time?
I was 18.
You decided you were going to go there?
I was like, I have to go there.
How old were you when you went?
18 years old.
That
Oh,
was
no. And then Vice. I'll bring it back to how that turned into Vice. But so I get on a plane, tons of lying and manipulating to get the visa because it wasn't open to tourism. It was only open to business. And so I make up this story that I'm a bodyguard to a toothpaste executive. And I work day and night to get a ticket to the Congo. And there's no tickets. It's this airline Aeroflot. And I'm in Israel, which is close to Africa. But because it's this Russian airline, I get on this flight. It goes to Moscow and then Malta and then like 6 other African countries. And then it lands in Brazzaville.
How long?
Like 3 days almost, and like a shaky airplane, you know? And you know, everyone in there is the ones that got to get out. Right? So when they're coming back, they're bringing chickens and goats and all kinds of shit on the plane, and
Wow.
It smells like shit. And I don't know. This is pre-internet, right? I don't have any information on the Congo except for I heard that there's a dinosaur there.
What year?
94. 94, 95. I lost track of time, but it was right after high school, so 18,
So
19.
you don't have a cell phone either. Then.
No cell phone, nothing. And the second I get off the plane, it smells horrible. Because they're just burning trash everywhere, and it's hot, and it's oppressive. And I go, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, why am I here? And everyone there asks me, what are you doing here? They don't speak English. They speak French. I didn't know that. They're in the middle of a civil war. I think the 2 factions were called the Ninjas and the Cobras. Like little kids shooting at night. Every 3rd bullet is like a tracer bullet, so it looks like fireworks. I go, what is that? And they're like, oh, they're just shooting into the air. First breakout of Ebola, malaria, and people go, why did you do that? That's not normal behavior. And I go, the LA riots happened in 1992. I watched normal civilization, normal civilized manners. You know, this is how people are. You go to a store. I saw that crumble overnight. In one night, it went from fuck you. Everything, let's burn down, let's rob, pillage, steal, everything. I go, oh, it could happen that fast? And once again, that same kind of, oh, I think I'm accepted in this country. I think people like me, for me. And it's like, no, we don't want you. Go back to where you come from. So I think, and I could go on and on about all the traumas I've experienced in my life, but I hurt people. I was in a lot of pain. I was like, I didn't like Korean people. I didn't like myself. I'd experienced a lot of abuse from black people. And I just I didn't know anything. There was no internet. I felt like an alien. I'm like, I don't belong anywhere. So I would go, everyone goes, don't go to Bosnia. Don't go to the Congo. Don't go to the Gaza Strip. And I'm going to go every fucking place. My life has been very reactionary, right? My life has been like, you don't tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. You don't tell me how to podcast. I'm going to stick a butt plug in my,
right.
I'm going to do what, so I'm in the Congo and it's in a full-blown war. There's people being, and everyone's like, who are you?
Oh my God.
Who is this blonde Asian here? Like I had my hair dyed then too. And so I could go and tell a million stories about the Congo, but at some point.
Why you were looking for this brontosaurus for real, or you just wanted to go to the Congo as well?
I know the kids like to say 100%. I've heard you say it too.
Yeah.
Why not 99% just to leave 1% for down? 99% I was there for the dinosaur. Like I was so young and dumb and stupid and ignorant where I truly thought I was going to find it. Like I didn't know enough about everything made sense to me. Cuz anyone listening to this right now, we're talking about a story from 20 years ago, right?
Right.
I was a stupid kid. I believed in Santa Claus very late. I was a bedwetter. I'm fucked up, man. So when I finally did get to the jungle, I got out of Brazzaville. I got to this jungle area called Hueso. Then I believed, because the spiders are this big and the frogs are this big, and
how big are the frogs?
Just everything looks insane. The snakes, they got snakes out here this big. Like it was like, okay, now I believe. Like every year, scientists were finding a new species of something that they thought was gone, and I'm like, okay, and then I meet the pygmies.
Whoa.
And that was, fuck, I don't know what version of the story I should tell because it gets so dark. I met a German guy named, fuck, I shouldn't say his name. I met a German guy there who was the same age as me, and this is in the city. And then he could tell that I was lost. I didn't know who this guy was. He was being groomed to be like the next big politician in Frankfurt or something.
Right.
And so I didn't get this until later. But he was here as his like sex vacation to fuck as many he liked black women. So he's gonna fuck as many. Curb your language, Dave. To have as many intimate relations with women as possible. Is that better?
No. The other way
I'm trying to be better for myself. That's what I'm trying to do.
The other way was better. You were explaining what it was. It's not a bad thing.
That's what he was doing. So I figure out. So he sees me as another young guy.
It's not a bad thing to explain things accurately,
You could use other words though.
Yeah, but that's what it is, right?
It is what it is, but I can come off. I can turn people off when I use that language.
Who are these people? People that don't like you?
No, they're people that
they want Dave, no swear Dave. I came here for G-rated Dave, and I want my money back.
I'm not trying to be G-rated. I'm just trying to be
PG-13 Dave. That's what I was signing up for. Occasionally, the word shit. PG-13, they have like rules, right? You know, like 2 shits.
99%. Okay, so I'm with.
You thought there was a real dinosaur in there, and when you got there and you saw the big frogs and the big snakes, I'm like, maybe it is.
Yeah, maybe it is. And what happens is we go to the last spotting of it, right? And then I meet.
Is there any evidence at all? Like
everyone I talk to, oh yeah, we've seen it. Like there's no that's crazy. Every fucking person I meet is like, oh yeah, it's in the last.
Is it one of those things where realistically, there's not a whole lot of people looking for it anyway.
No, but there are scientists that go out there. And in the meantime, I've never seen anyone murdered before until I got here, right? I've been through the LA riots. I've seen things broken and burned down and guns pointed, but I've never seen anyone hung. I've never seen anyone stoned to death. And it's absolute chaos. I'm seeing people murdered. I'm scared for my life. I got attacked one time. So I go, I need to find it. Now I have to find this dinosaur. And I also know that there's a chance that I might never go home again. So I write a letter to my parents. They don't know where I am. They think I'm in Israel on this farm. Like, I didn't tell anybody. So I wrote my parents this long letter of, I love you guys. I'm about to embark on a journey to find a dinosaur in the jungle. And I sent it at the airport before I got on the plane to the jungle. I have no money. I have only one change of clothes. I have fucking blonde hair. And I go into the jungle and we get lost immediately. I'm a fucking city boy. What the hell do I know about the jungle? What do I know about the jungle?
Where were you? Did you have any direction?
Nothing. I just knew what, you know what?
So
when I landed
crazy.
in the jungle, there was a guy that I want to say his name is Chris, that was a Peace Corps guy. And he was there to help build welds in this Bantu village. And he said, the place what you guys are looking for, he's like, you're not going to find a dime. You know, he was like the reasonable one. Mm-hmm. And I go, how do I know if you don't try? You know, I still believed. I still wanted to believe. I was willing to risk my life for it. So I haven't fucking told this story in so long. So we get to the jungle and we start walking. There's a minor trail and then it disappears. It's just gone. And I'm like, we're fucking lost in the jungle. We're lost in the jungle. So I'm with this guy that what we told people, he was here to fuck as many women as possible. But we went with the story of he is the toothpaste executive and I'm his bodyguard. That's a fake bullshit story.
Right.
As we're lost in the jungle, he starts to think that story is real. Hey, go fetch me a pineapple. I go, dude, I'm not your, he's like, you're not a real executive, bro. Like, I'm not going to get, and he starts like telling me like, I'm like, hey, you know that was a fake story, right? Like, he's like, and there's no one around. So we get lost for days and he starts to really be like humiliating towards me and right on my nerves. And we had rations. We went in with some crackers and some like tuna in a can thing. And I go, hey man, we're fucking lost. I don't know how to survive. We need to ration this food out. I come, he ate it all. He ate it all.
Whoa.
And now, like, have you ever been in that kind of situation where you're like, I'm going to die here? Like, I'm never going to, like, hope is gone. Like, I'm in a thick Congolese jungle. Like, I don't know how to get out, and we've been lost for days. Like, I don't know how to survive. I don't fucking know how to, like, this is it, you know?
That's insane.
And on top of it, I have this fucking German asshole who's, like, talking down to me, making fun of me, and eating my fucking rations. Like, I would pump all the fucking water and put the water purification tablets and he'd be like, thanks. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, I did all that work so we could share it. And
so he was
a dick. And so,
man, and you're stuck in the
you've
jungle.
been in a jungle like that
dick.
before?
No.
Dude, so we set up a tent. We have one tent. And so we're in close quarters with each other. At night, the moon is like this fucking big. Like, it's humongous. And you hear the entire jungle come alive. Like fucking monkeys and like things are bumping into the tent at night, like huge insects and like, and I'm like, I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna die here. So the few times in my life where I've been in this kind of hopeless situation, the only thing that's gonna get me out of it is if I can control my mind. Because I'm like falling into despair. And in the daytime, I'm doing stand-up to the trees. Because we're just walking in like circles. And I'm like, hey, how are you guys doing all tonight? You know.
So you don't know where you are.
I don't know where I am.
Oh my
I'm
God.
talking to the vegetation.
Oh my God.
And this guy is riding my last nerve. And so I could safely say I lost my mind. And so we're down to our last food. And he did it again. And I said, bro, what the fuck did I tell you? We got to make this last. I'm starving. You ate the rations that were supposed to, that was it. And he's like, whatever. And he has a more like dissociated, like checked out, like we'll get out of here somehow. And part of, I don't know, his coping thing was to like talk down to me or whatever. And so that night, and we're lost at this point a week and a half maybe. We haven't, I'm fucking 90 pounds. I've lost all this weight. I'm going to kill this guy. I'm going to murder him. I'm going to fucking murder him because I don't like people talking shit to me like that. I've been a punching bag for this guy for weeks now. And I'm just going to fucking kill him. And if I have to eat him to survive, I guess I'll do that. And so he's out cold. He's got fucking crumbs on his face, tuna fucking juice from the food that was supposed to be shared. And I go outside the tent and I pick up a huge rock, like bigger than this. And I go, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. I have officially lost my mind. Like I'm barely gonna survive. I can't do it here with this guy. So he's out, I was fucking looking at his face. And I pick up the rock and I go, I don't even have to apply any pressure. If I just drop it, he's done. Like he'll be fucking dead. And I go, oh fuck, is there anything left? Is there any common sense? Is there any light left in my? And I gotta fucking kill this guy. He has to go. He has to die. He has to die. He has to fucking die. And then I didn't do it. I'm not a murderer. I can't. In the mind, I'll do it. I'll do what? Murder Dave, come to the front. No one's ever gonna know. His family doesn't know he's there. Your family, nobody knows who you are. This guy Chris, the Peace Corps guy, he's not gonna fucking say anything. You can kill him right now. He has a ton of cash that he hasn't been sharing with you. You can get out of here. You can fucking get some of your pride and your ego back. This fucking guy's treating you like a fucking like a Chinese waiter or something. Do it. No one will ever know. No one will ever fucking find out. You're probably gonna die too. You want to die like fucking catering to this guy? Just do it. And I'm sitting. No, I don't want to. I'm not a murderer, and I didn't kill him. I woke up the next day and I'm just looking at him like, motherfucker, you don't even know. You don't even know what almost happened last night. We're walking around. Hey, what's that? There's a fucking pygmy up one of those 200, 100-foot trees. He's just sitting there chilling. And I go, what is that? Is that a person? Waves at us.
200 feet above you.
Huge tree. Like just, I don't know.
That's so high.
It's so high.
Oh my God.
It was so high.
How did you spot him?
He was like, it was shaking a little. From the place he was to get in front of us was seconds. He's like, hi. It's like this short.
Was this jungle? I mean, when you're in there, do you even see sunlight through it, or is it just?
No, it's so dense. I mean, like, yeah, there's some cracks, but it's
just
this was also in the
life.
National Geographic why that the dinosaur would be here is because cameras can't see it because it's such a dense, thick forest, and there's things in there that are like moving, and
Dude, your description sounds terrifying.
It's terrible.
Trying to sleep in the tent.
Oh my God.
God, dude, I'm freaking out over here.
So the guy comes up. He's this short. He's like tiny. He's like, you guys want some honey? I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
And this is where my skill as an artist has gotten me out of so many situations, right? Because if you're in jail and you have any kind of skills, singing, dancing, telling jokes, drawing, you're a celebrity. So this guy doesn't speak English. We don't speak whatever language he speaks. So I start drawing stuff like food, like in the dirt, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got you." And he goes and he brings us some meat that's all charred, and I'm like, I don't know what that is,
Right.
And I took one bite and it tastes horrible, and I'm like, I'm gonna starve to death, but I can't eat that.
Wow.
And so it was like a movie. He's like, come on. And we're walking, and it's us like stumbling, machete trying to. He's just like we get around a corner. Entire village of pygmies. They've never fucking seen an Asian person before. I'm C-3PO and they're the Ewoks from blonde. They're coming. They're touching my face. They're like, wow. Yeah, look like he's like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. They're like, the kid keeps doing this thing like, I go, what are you saying? There was one older guy in the village that I guess spoke a tiny bit of French. So the German guy can translate. He's like, they're saying you come from the stars.
Oh my
that
God,
you're coming from the stars. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's heavy.
So I'm like, we're saved. They bring us some honey. They bring us some fruit. And I'm like, oh God. I'm like just devouring it. They're laughing at us. And, you know, it's like the National Geographic. The women's tits are like down to their ankles. And this fucking guy, he's an alien. He's an alien.
I told you.
1995. I was 19 years old. Yeah, 19 years old. Yeah, and they put that they put their clothes on for the picture. They were all naked when I got in there.
Wow.
So, look at my tivas.
That's amazing. That picture's amazing.
So I
now, had any of these people seen it? Did you ever describe it to them?
Oh yeah. So I draw the
them?
dinosaur. I go, here's the dinosaur.
And what were they saying?
They go, oh yeah. There's never like no. It's always like, okay, there's the dinosaur. And they go, let's go. And they go, it's through wetlands like this. There's gonna be leeches. Like there's a disease called bilharzia, where there's like snails under like still moving waters, and the second a mammal steps in the water, little fucking parasites shoot off the snail like heat-seeking missiles, and they go in your dick hole, and then you piss and shit blood till you die. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like I tap out.
Jesus.
Like, so they're explaining like all the trek and the way to go find this dinosaur, and I'm like, I went up until the leeches. And then when I came out with the leeches, I go, all right, I like this is it, you know. I go, can you help us get out of the jungle? And they're like, it took less than a day. That's how close we were to like.
Really?
Yeah, we were probably fucking walking in circles. So we get out in less than a day. I get back home. I'm 19 years old. I start writing for Vice. I start drawing pictures for them. I do comics. I'm writing. And I was writing for a magazine called Giant Robot. And Gavin and Shane would read that magazine, and they're like, they were ahead of the curve, right? Like when all print magazine, right, existed, they were like, we need to go to digital. Like they were, you know, Vice has always been free. Everyone fiends it. They go to those magazine shops or wherever, and and they're like, we need to have online presence. The internet was brand new, and they said, Dave, that is the fucking. And I told you. Not the PG-13, but that story gets very darker than what I said. And they go, will you go back with a camera and a camera crew? And I said, that was one of the most traumatic. I almost died. I saw people murdered. There was a fucking virus where people were bleeding out of their eyeballs. No. Okay, I'll go. Enough time had passed. It was 10 years later, actually. That was 95, and then it was like 8 or 10 years later. And
so that was the one that Vice filmed.
They're like, can you go back?
So that photo for the Mickey Mouse shirt was from the earlier
That
trip.
was from when I went with the film, like just my camera. So I go back, and how did we even get to this?
The dinosaur.
The dinosaur.
They all see this same dinosaur?
Have you
shit, look at that.
There it is, Mokala. Dude, you're fucking on fire, Jamie.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That one number 3 is bonkers. What is that? Unless it's a log. Could be a log.
So on my second trip back, I met the doctor. There was a doctor that lived in the village close to that river.
Look at the track.
And he said he'd seen it.
Really?
And he's like not you know.
I wonder if any like real legitimate biologists have looked at those tracks. Maybe they could tell you by the way the footprint, like they can kind of tell whether things are fake or real or not based on like where the weight is distributed. Like someone who really understands how these animals would walk. I think it would be really hard to fake dinosaur footprints, right? Because the weight, it would have to have like a.
The description I just read in this said it wasn't that big. I shouldn't say not big, but it's like 30 feet, 35 feet.
It's pretty big.
It's like a big giant elephant.
Think
size.
about how big those fucking alligators were that we were just talking about.
So it might be a turtle they were seeing That's what I don't know what they actually found.
A
That's what I'm
turtle.
looking through here.
Their dicks were so big. Like when we went to the river to bathe, they were like, okay, they just take their clothes off, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep my clothes on. And they go, what? I go, dude, I have like a normal penis for, like, I'm proportioned correctly. Like, your shit is down to your knees. And this was back in the city when I got back to Brazzaville, and they're like, bro, you know why our dicks are so big? I'm like, why? And there's all these naked kids running around. It's like, because we never wear underwear. And I'm like, what? It's like, see the girl whose tits are down to her stomach? Never wear a bra. It's gravity, bro. Everything just droops. I'm like, that's why your dicks are so big? I'm like, I'm still gonna leave my underwear on. It's like, this is
Takes too much time.
Wait, you've never been to Africa?
No, never been to Africa.
Dude, I'm begging you. I know you're into the hunting and the bow hunting. Please, like, so when I texted you,
What
like,
does that have to do with anything?
Africa, man.
Oh, hunting in Africa, you mean?
So when I texted you the other day, I saw that the last time I texted you was 2018. I was like, dude, I'm going to Africa. I'll see you when I get back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And
Okay, this is the
yes.
Yeah, you
Please,
were telling me. This
please.
is very heavy.
So there's hunter-gatherer tribes in like the Arctic, Papua New Guinea, the Amazon, Africa, but very few. Like, they're almost gone. There's very, very few people that live off the land. And I just, whenever the podcast went off the air and I ghosted, I just lost my mind. I hit my rock bottom, and very similar pattern of what I always do when things get rough is I just go to Africa. I go, it's a weird thing to be like rich or be in a country that's rich or have stuff, and as an adult someone has to teach you gratitude. Like, I hear you say it all the time. I'm thankful, I'm grateful. I go, but I'm not. I have everything, and yet I fucking complain like crazy. I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I need to go someplace where I can learn humility. I can learn to be grateful. So I'm traumatized now by the Congo. I didn't even go into my second Congo story when I went with Vice. That was even crazier, where the fucking chief tried to kill us. But so Congo is the heart of darkness. I get why those books are written. I get why people have these mind-losing experiences out there, because it is one of the fucking darkest countries I've ever been. So I don't want to go somewhere different this time.
Do you know the European settlers, they tried to live in the Congo for a while?
I met one.
Did you see the houses that they left behind?
Dude, when I got to this Bantu village, and Chuck, his name was Chuck. Chuck, if you're listening, I know it's 20 years ago, long blonde hair, from Oregon, Peace Corps guy. He got malaria while we were there. Oof. And he goes, please contact Francois. And I go, who the fuck is Francois? And he goes, he's in the jungle. And this isn't in the Congo village, it's the Bantu village. And he goes, you go down this tree and you go, so he's deep in the but this is still near a village. It's not, So we go into the jungle, and there's like a giant Victorian French, like European house in the middle of the fucking jungle. And I'm like, how did this happen? And he's like, so we go in there, and Francois is just like some fucking weird French dude that just said, I'm going to stay here. He had like 12 Bantu wives. There's all these like half black, half white babies crawling around. And he has a ham radio. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like, Chuck is fucking dying. He said to come contact you. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll contact the aircraft carrier and they'll send a chopper in for him. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, that's the one time I saw a French Victorian, I don't even know how to describe the architecture. It was like a beautiful French home in the middle of the fucking Congo jungle.
Yeah, there was a website dedicated to those people that tried to do that. And it just detailed how it all went terrible for them. And the jungle just overcame the house. Like, you can't keep the jungle back. It's too powerful. There's too much there.
The jungle
Everything grows so quickly. It's just fucking, I mean, you'd have grass popping out through the middle of your floorboards and shit, and trees trying to grow through the side of your sewage system. Like, it's just too much. It's wild.
When you just said too much, like, I just thought right now, every time I hit a rock bottom and my life gets too much, I go back to Africa. So when someone says, go back to where you come from, maybe it's Africa.
Well, we all do.
Right.
We all do.